Alright everyone, a bunch of NIMBYist researchers are bitching right now about Elon Musk's Starlink and urging the federal government to pause additional launches because he wants to put up thousands more satellites over the course of the coming year. The idea behind Starlink is, imagine, eventually, you've got enough satellites and shit up there that you can create basically a worldwide network and have like a parallel communication system that doesn't rely upon fully the normal internet. That is, that you could have a censorship-free apparatus for people to communicate with one another. This is why they're bitching. They are not in any way, shape, or form concerned about the goddamn environment. We've been rocking satellites and launching satellites and rockets and shit out into space for decades. Does it cause environmental damage? Yeah, to an extent, especially debris in space that makes it difficult to do more things in space. Whoops, we might need to innovate something to clean up some of those microwave-sized objects floating around in our upper atmosphere. That being said, Starlink is doing a good thing for the world. I note that all of the researchers and environmentalists and assorted NIMBYists, they loved Elon Musk, would love to garble his knob years ago when it was mainly Tesla. As long as it was importing Chinese lithium to make overpriced cars, they loved him because they're NIMBYists and it was a status symbol. The second that he started doing things that are genuinely going to be helpful for mankind, like donating to Donald Trump, all of a sudden everyone has a huge problem with him. Or partially uncensoring Twitter. Or creating a network of satellites capable of serving large swaths of the world with reasonable quality access to human communication that are not reliant on the normal infrastructure of the cable-based internet that most people use today. If you're able to supply that to people, it will create a huge competitive block within the market, forcing also the lamestream providers of internet services and communication to similarly act. Because otherwise they'll get outcompeted when people realize how much more fun it is to be able to speak freely and not have to worry about the Gestapo showing up at your door. Well, yeah, that'll be a game changer, and that's what he's working towards. Environmental damage. What environmental damage? Starlink, SpaceX has developed rockets that can now re-enter the Earth's atmosphere intact and be reused. I would think that's more efficient than the systems we've been using. Starlink is capable of hooking people up in very remote areas with reasonable quality access, allowing, and this is the other problem they have. I'll tell you the other secret. Right now, disproportionately, people in urban areas who tend to be more liberal, and in developed areas that tend to be more liberal, have greater speeds and more access overall to the internet, to cellular networks, etc., than people living in the boondocks who tend to be more conservative. Rural people. People in small towns. Like if I didn't have Fidium hooked up here, look at the mainline internet that's available here. No good for streaming. One platform at 480, you can handle that. Multiple platforms at 720 or 1080, not going to work. The upload speed's just not there. It's not going to work. It'll lag out and be all fucked up. So I had to get that. Thank you to the Quartering, by the way, for advising me that Fidium was a good idea. And Starlink is also a good alternative. For people that are way out there, they can set up a Starlink system and get reasonable speeds. They can actually communicate with the world. Right now, the opinions that are given on mainline platforms skew to the left anyway because urbanites have more access to that sort of communications technology. That's just the way that it works. Elon Musk is trying to make a shit ton of money by evening things out. More power to him. That's kind of the point of a company, is to make a profit. I think he realizes the way to do that is to out-free speech his competitors and then let the nature take its course. When people realize, hey, Twitter is more fun now that you can offend people and not get instantly banned, more people are using Twitter. I thought it was supposed to die by now, by the way. BuzzFeed and Vox and HuffPo and all the others, they all told me it should be dead by now. Should be like 10 people using it. It'll be me and Elon Musk, having a live stream tea party, basically, because nobody else will be using the network anymore. Supposedly, that's how it was supposed to pan out, but it obviously didn't. They're going after Starlink because they don't like Musk. And they don't like what he stands for. That's the long and short of it. That's the only reason they're doing it. I'm surprised they haven't complained about his other goals within industry. Oh my God. Well, SpaceX, that's a bad idea. Launching rockets creates pollution. Yeah, less than standard rockets. You can actually re-enter them now intact and leave less debris up in space. I think that would be a good thing. Then you launch your Starlink satellites, and the rest is history. They're trying to stop him. What environmental concerns? These people don't plant trees. They don't pick up trash. They use plastic straws, etc. They dump their painkillers in the toilet when they're more inert, and stuff like that. You're the ones that are responsible for degrading the environment. Musk, if anything, is helping it out other than with Tesla. Again, the most overrated, well, I guess the Boring Company is the most overrated of his assets, and then Tesla would be second. Starlink and SpaceX and Twitter are the big three. Those are the ones that really shine. He's basically a rocket man at this point. You don't have to be a super fan of Elon Musk to appreciate what he's doing to create better access to technology for people that live on a farm 2 miles away from their nearest neighbor. You know, they have kids too that want to be able to communicate on the internet and, you know, stream their games and shit like that. It's fun. It's a huge amount of information that's available right at the tips of your fingers, although a lot of people don't use it to actually gain meaningful information. Every book ever known, that's on the internet. Ancient fucking texts transcribed 100 years ago are on the internet. Every fucking movie, commentary by millions of people. It's literally all there. The ability to communicate at a distance with pretty much anyone in the world. And Starlink is very helpful in promoting that. And he's making a shit ton of money doing so, by the way. Why is it that all of a sudden these satellites are a huge problem and must be paused? But if another nation puts up communication satellites, or if some other company does so, that's perfectly fine. They never said a goddamn thing about it. Maybe they'd mumble about it once in a while when they wanted more federal grants for their stupid research. It's not even research, it's just basically them bitching about it. Well, we don't really have any specific evidence, but we've got a hypothesis that it might be a problem, so you should pause it anyway. They're doing this to him because of his overall ideology, and nothing more. And the ideology of the people that he's allowing through this service to compete in a free market of ideas with people who have views that are closer to those of these researchers. That's exactly why this is happening. And it's just a week before election season. That's a coincidence too. Don't look into that too much either. Yeah. When Trump wins, and I think he will, I have a feeling he's going to ignore those researchers. That's about all. Peace out.